Today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Relish has revealed to me many times. I have 40 boobs. Good morning. I am partially scared for my life right now because someone looks like they're about to murder me if I don't take them on a walk soon. Should we go on a walk? They're doing construction like all up and down this road, but like I would be so pissed if that was in the front of my house for the entire weekend. Like, okay, you're gonna rip up half my front yard and you're gonna leave your giant vehicle in it for like more than 48 hours, really? I'd be mad. I don't know, how would you guys feel? Also, there's a house over here where they've got like the best cacti in here and all the cacti are flowering. There's prickly pear back there with flowers on them. Oh, it's so pretty. Cacti are totally the original hipsters because they can grow their own flower crowns. I've been listening to the new Halsey album and I gotta admit I'm not enjoying it. It sounds really like loose, where her last album was very like catchy, like there's a lot of hits in it. So I enjoyed listening to that album for a little while, but this new one seems a lot more like ballads and like more kind of a spacey sound. I don't know. Well, I'll have to give it another try. I always try to listen to albums twice before I poo-poo them. Usually that doesn't happen, but I try, especially with an artist that I used to be into. I'm gonna make a smoothie. It's gonna be really weird. Let's see how it goes. Gotta admit, I'm a little scared to try this smoothie. It has garbanzo beans in it and an avocado. You can definitely taste the garbanzo beans, but the strawberries come through a lot too. It's very thick and creamy too. I think that's because of the avocado. It's definitely like a little different than my normal smoothie. I also added a little touch of maple syrup. So, today we're gonna talk about something that I love to do as of the last like year or two, Dungeons and Dragons. Now, if you were alive, I think it's in the 70s, D&D had this reputation of almost being like a Satanist game or like a demon witchcraft kind of game. Of course, the game has like magic themes in it, but there are also like ancient books with magic themes that don't get the bad rap that D&D gets. So I find that a little odd, but it's really interesting. There was like campaigns and stuff back in the day that were like anti-D&D. So I think because of that, D&D still kind of has a stigma, but it's not so much like a satanic stigma as it is like only nerds who don't have girlfriends play D&D kind of a stigma. However, when Stranger Things came out on Netflix, they showed the kids playing D&D, and it was shown in a very positive way, and that was like a huge theme in the show. So there's like an increase right now in the interest in D&D, but I'm still meeting lots of people who say, "You play D&D? You? Oh, I never imagined that you would play D&D," as if like I don't fit the persona of who is supposed to play D&D. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it on the vlog. I wanted to share it with you in the way that I've become familiar with, which is basically it's a way to get together with your friends, have this really creative project that you guys are all working on, and it's also kind of an escape from reality. Not as in like we all need to escape reality, but it is really nice to role play every once in a while and just pretend you're someone else and just kind of be a kid and play. A lot of adults think that like play is bad for some reason. I don't know. I think playing with friends as an adult is a great thing. So every Saturday, just about every Saturday, we get together with a group of friends. There are 5 players, and Eric is the DM. So Eric has to put a lot of time, a lot more time than any of us, into D&D because of the planning. If you're not familiar with the way the game works, it's entirely roleplay, it's entirely creative, it's a choose your own adventure, like to the T kind of a thing. There is a handbook that you go by, and to create your character, you select a race, you select a class. It's kind of like rolling up a character for any video game, really. And then your character is either like the kind of person that's just gonna like bash things to attack, or you get into the really complex world of spellcasting, which is what I have gotten into with my character. So Eric's created this world for us. Currently, we are on the eastern side of the world that we're in, and we just tried to help with a siege of a city. I don't completely remember why we're sieging the city. I think we're helping the like rebels who are fighting the system or whatever. But anyway, so this whole like story plot that we're following is all out of Eric's head with inspiration from things that he's seen, video games, DM handbook. There's other D&D kind of handbooks and all that kind of stuff. So he's created this world for us, and the characters are so funny together. I do want you to like be introduced to a couple of the characters. So I'll definitely see if Mia will go over her character. You might remember her from my Russian River travel vlog. She was in the bachelorette party. She's a really close friend of mine, and her character is hilarious. She's called Puyati the Breaker. Puyati. It's like the best name ever. And she's like this huge barbarian lady. We'll talk to her later. My character's name is Tumna, or some people call her Tumna. She is a dwarf, a hill dwarf, and she is a cleric. So I've never played a cleric before this campaign. I've been in 2 previous D&D campaigns that didn't really last very long, and my first character was a gnome bard. My second character I think was a druid. A cleric is someone who gets a divine magic from a deity. So basically, if you create a cleric character, you have to choose the deity that they're going to worship. So I chose a deity called Ralashaz, which is the god of randomness and insanity. And the reason I did that is because I wanted a character who I could just be like completely insane with. We have drinks while we play. We're always teasing each other. It's like a very fun kind of a party atmosphere when we play D&D, and so I wanted a character that would be really fun to play given that setting. So we have just leveled up to level 5, so now we get level 3 spells. So what I need to go do right now is figure out which spells I want to take on, and then I also really want to write a sermon. So after this big siege, I personally, as a human, was very drunk, and my character was just losing it, like just didn't have any spell slots, nothing left. So at the end of the big battle, we had a moment to rest, and I did this like prayer of healing to heal like everybody around me. It heals like 10 people or something crazy. And then while I had everybody's attention, I thought it would be hilarious to do a sermon. So since my character is like very religious, I thought that was fitting. And so I had written this like sermon out about how I want to build shrines leading up to Ankli and all this stuff, which is the major city. So we're on the other side of the world. So my character is suggesting that we trek across the world that we're in to get to this huge city and build shrines along the entire way. So that's the goal of my character right now. The bigger goal though is to protect the party. So that's kind of what I do. I'm kind of a support character, like healing. I'm very powerful. Clerics are very powerful characters. But yeah, so I need to go level up my character, which involves like changing all the stats and adding new spells and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of time consuming. And then people are going to start to come over, and I'm going to show you what the setup looks like. And then I will film myself giving the group the sermon, because I think you guys will find it really funny. I'm going to need to drink this whole smoothie and a couple of alcoholic beverages before that happens, though. Let's do it. Oh yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention is that we usually have some kind of like themed music going. So for example, there was a point in time where we were on the docks. We were trying to like take over this like ship. Eric or I will get on this website that has like a D&D soundboard. And if you play D&D, it's super fun to like kind of push around on the soundboard. So I'll put a link to that down below. But that soundboard is really fun for kind of like setting the mood. The music definitely does it for me. Luckily, we have this huge table, and one time our D&D group was so big that we added the extra leaf in here, and it was like massive. But this is perfect for D&D, and I will show you what it looks like when everyone's stuff on it. It is not this empty once we get going. We've got all the player sheets in here. Tumna, this is my character, and she needs to level up to level 5. Let's do it. You want to explain your character?
Okay.
My favorite character in the campaign. No offense, guys.
Let me introduce you to
Yeah.
Puyati. me Booyati. I half orc from forgot name of land, been so long in new land, named Onkleos. I am big, strong woman, not man. I have pointy boobs, big, strong boobs, and me have large ponytail on top of head that I can sweep like this. I go big rage when mad. When mad now.
I need the sparkliest ones available. All the glitter.
Samna.
I cannot believe you're all considering this. Relishaz has revealed to me many times the change occurring among humanoids. We are collectively raising our consciousness. All of you and many residents of New Kurth have undergone this transformation among generations and generations. If we are to accept each other as humanoid kind, we must encourage this evolution to occur among all humanoid kind. This is why we must journey on to Onkli and construct simple shrines along the way. We must hear the final drop from the tears of man. Relishaz will make it so.
You hear a slow clap from behind you.
I hope you guys enjoyed that little insight into the world of D&D yesterday. I just woke up. It's the next day. You can probably tell. But I forgot to end the vlog last night, so I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye!